It was an eerie night after a long day. My dad and I were in the front seat of his truck, along with my younger brother and his buddies in the back. We were in the Culver's drive-thru, and my brother and his friends were laughing and having a good time in the back. All of a sudden, a strange man walked over to my brother's window and tapped on it. My brother, for whatever reason, rolled down the window, and the strange man held a switchblade to my brother's neck. If it wasn't for my dad grabbing his legal concealed carry handgun out, which forced the man to quickly run away, I'm not sure if my brother would still be here today. This story is just one of thousands that prove that a gun in the hands of a good person who obtained it legally has nothing but a positive effect. It protected myself and my family from a complete whack job who was on multiple drugs in the Culver's drive-thru. This man was later captured and returned back to jail. I am a patriot, and I love everything about this country. I am in the Army program in my college, and I am very passionate about defending the rights that were given to us by our founding fathers. I want you to ask yourself, what would have happened to you or your family if they were in that situation? Would you have had the proper way of getting out of that situation? You may say something like that could never happen to you. Well, let me tell you, people like that are everywhere, and you should always have a way of guaranteed protection. Guns should continue to be a right to all qualified and legal United States citizens because of the right to the Second Amendment and for the protection of yourself and your family from the many threats present today. The Second Amendment to your United States Constitution reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." You can take a lot from this quote. The first part of this quote gets the point across about how important it is to have guns to protect yourself from a government that no longer has a focus of working for the people of the United States. What would happen if the government decided that they wanted to become a dictatorship and take away the rights of all citizens? If guns are not around, something like that would happen with no resistance. According to a book by Dr. Stephen Halbert called Gun Control in the Third Reich, the Third Reich made use of gun control to disarm and repress its enemies and consolidate its power. Many books on the Holocaust fail to get the point across that along with immediately stripping Jews of citizenship, they stripped all political enemies and Jews of the guns that they had. Dr. Stephen Halbert is an author and lawyer known for his legal action on behalf of the National Rifle Association. He has written extensively about the original meanings of the Second Amendment and has argued and won 3 cases before the U.S. Supreme Court involving firearms. The second part of the Second Amendment, quote, reads that, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." According to the Constitution Center, the Second Amendment was ratified on December 15, 1791. Our founding fathers had a purpose for this being so high up on the Bill of Rights, meaning this is one of the most important rights they wanted all citizens to have. They saw firsthand what a country is like that is in full control of all people, and they did not like that. Some parents are concerned with having guns because of their kids' safety, but with proper discussions and lessons with your children, as well as things like safes to keep the guns locked up, this is not an issue. According to the NRA, the odds are more than 1,000,000 to 1 against a child in the U.S. dying in a gun accident. There are tons of classes you can take with your entire family. Some classes are specifically for families that are thinking about introducing firearms into their homes. Other classes could be like hunter safety classes like I took with my dad when I was younger. There are many opportunities to educate yourself and your children on this issue. While we are on the topic of the United States Constitution, I would like to mention an important event that really defines the early 1900s. In January of 1920, the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution went into effect. All alcohol was illegal in the United States. As we all know, in the time after this law went into action, there was no shortage of alcohol. I could argue that there was more alcohol after it was made illegal. This period of time, known as the Prohibition, made famous mobsters famous and rich. Some names such as Al Capone, Arnold Rothstein, and Lucky Luciano come to mind. These famous lords of the underground alcohol business made sure that the high demand of booze was taken care of. Booze was smuggled in from all over the world. Booze was smuggled from the Caribbean, Canada, France, and England. I believe that making guns illegal would have an exact outcome as this law did. Aside from the very important Second Amendment, there is still a very powerful reason for the right to bear arms. The protection of yourself and your family from many present threats today should be a big concern of everyone. There are so many crazies out in this world, and you will never know when you will be coming face to face with one. Going through a concealed carry class and getting proper training with your handgun, shotgun, or semi-automatic rifle that you obtain legally could save yourself or your family. Some people argue for gun control and say things like normal people shouldn't have assault rifles like AR-15s. These people are first of all uneducated. An AR-15 is not an assault rifle. The AR in AR-15 stands for Armalite Rifle. Assault rifles are also fully automatic like machine guns. When you squeeze the trigger on an assault rifle, the gun rapidly fires by itself. Guns like these are illegal, and buying or distributing them can land you in some serious trouble. AR-15s are semi-automatic weapons just like your standard pistol or revolver, meaning you need to squeeze the trigger each time you want a bullet to exit the chamber. So a demonstration, this could be like an assault rifle. You just hold the trigger down and bullets just keep flying out. This could be like your standard AR-15. Each time you squeeze the trigger, a bullet comes out. According to the National Public Radio, criminologists Gary Kleck and Mark Gertz concluded there are between 2.2 and 2.5 million defense gun uses annually. This is a crazy number and makes me wonder what would happen if guns weren't in the hands of good people. Good people that should always continue to have access to guns are men or women that have no criminal record or history of significant mental illness. According to the Pew Research Center, 67% of gun owners say that their reason for having a gun is protection. The remaining percentage has reasoning of hunting, sports shooting, gun collecting, or their job. In a story by MSNBC, rape survivor Amanda Collins provides a story about how she was raped in a parking garage on a gun-free college campus. The attacker held his own gun to her head in a gun-free zone. The attacker went on to rape 2 other women and kill one after he escaped her. He was later caught. Amanda says, had I been carrying a firearm, I would have been able to stop the attack. Not only that, but 2 other rapes would have been prevented and 3 young lives would have been saved, including my own. This story is just another example on why guns need to continue to be available to good people and need to be available to conceal carry in places like college campuses. Criminals like this one in the story will always be able to get guns and bring them into a gun-free zone. In conclusion, the Second Amendment has given qualified American citizens the right to bear arms and protect themselves and their families from the many present threats today. Crazy people will always get their hands on guns if they are legal or illegal. The important thing is that we keep guns in the hands of good people that use them for good reason of protecting themselves or their family.